Okay, we're back. We'll continue working on Silac for probably another hour, and then we'll switch over to Resonate. I really shouldn't be having lunch as long as I am, but it's okay. Do need to adjust kind of the whole leg, actually. A little bit like probably straighten that out. A little bit more. Right about there. Then take these, move them back. Crazy how easy it feels to work with this, with multi-res and stuff. It just feels good. I don't know how else to describe that. It's like, oh man, I'm actually making the right decisions with how I'm modeling these things. um, hmm. We'll actually have that. Oh, did I undo the leg? No, not yet. This should actually. Welcome back, Snarden. Hello, hello. It's a bit like Mickey Mouse ears on the back. Once we get some hair in there, that will help. But I think we'll need to also build up the head, neck. Hello, Arctic. Welcome back. Rashad Z, hello, welcome. Remember you said something in your last stream talking about your multi-res workflow for doing characters. Can you further explain that? Do you still have to retopo? No, you do not have to retopo. So I actually started this character with my multi-res workflow. But if I go ahead and make a backup copy really quick. Excuse me. Adulting. So if we look at the lowest version of the model, level 0, in fact, I can unsubdivide once to get even lower. And this is the actual mesh that we have underneath it. It didn't look like this to start with. It was much simpler and did not look, the form didn't quite match as much. In fact, the base character, base anthro, is basically what I started from right here. But the cool thing about starting with that base is that it's super simple. So it's already very, very low poly at its core. And then I already have a UV map for it. It's already rigged. So if I go, because I started with that, if I go back to Silac here and we turn on the rig, make sure it's actually attached right now. It is not. We go back here. The character is not moving. Huh. Oh, right. That's because I unsubdivided. So I have to go back. I'm glad I saved because I knew there was. So I don't want to. Normally I would not unsubdivide that far. So let me go back here really quick. And before I unsubdivide, I do have. Come on. There we go. Okay. Took me a few tries, but it is rigged here underneath all of that. So pretty much ready to go for the most part. And that does include, although the bones are kind of in the wrong positions, that includes the mouth rigging, which is such a huge, huge time saver. Obviously, things still need to be tweaked and put in the right positions and things like that. But it's such a great spot to start from because not only do I know that I took some of the hardest things, the UV mapping, the rigging, and I made sure that I started that when it was the easiest, in the sense that when I had the least amount of mesh to work with, right? It's like I only had to worry about a very simple low base, and then I scale it up. And there are some workflows. Well, I think a lot of the hesitance that I initially had with multi-res was like not understanding how to recover when I need to make edits. So like, for example, when I unsubdivide there, I lost the vertex group. But with the mesh data transfer, it's like if I ever did need to go that low, again, I could still duplicate and then transfer those weights to the lower one. Or if I need to actually make really detailed edits to the mesh, you know, like I still can save, apply my multi-res at the level I want, make those tweaks, shrink wrap it, or re-multi-res it. Anyway, so there's ways to work with it to always recover the information that you might lose with multi-res, because sometimes it is a little bit fragile to work with. But yeah, basically I get my retopology for free. He's already unwrapped. I know exactly how I want to unwrap him. And so I just did that, and now he's ready to go. You know, I've got my UV maps for the character. They're all set up nice and pretty. And yeah, good to go. And if you want to see me start that process, I would recommend checking out my stream from this morning. But I will be doing a series of YouTube videos, or I will be doing a tutorial at some point going into further detail. Initially, I was thinking about making that a paid tutorial, but I think I will actually just make it free at this point because I'm already doing it often enough on stream. I'd rather just have people donate to me anyway. Preach Blender Cult, Blender Cult. Blender Cult, Blender Cult. Just subdivide that more. Also, the shoulder feels a little far away from the arm. Keep moving the eye too far forward. I have to work hard to get this positioning right on the eyeball. I think something a little bit more like this, where I just want it to fill in this corner nicely. Anyway, yeah, I'm not working any other way now. I'm 100% committed to using multi-res as often as possible in my work, which feels like a kind of a big departure from where I was a few months ago, where I was like, I don't really want to use multi-res. But now that I know I can just start with, like, as long as you understand how to start with a simple version of an object, then you get all the benefits. You get to work as like it's low poly, rig it like it's low poly, UV map it like it's low poly, but then still just go in and sculpt in all your details. It is the right method. And I'm 90% sure that this is why people use ZBrush, because they have really good workflows for exactly this kind of thing. Good news, chopping off some loops on the feet of my model in a huff helped make the weight paint look nicer. That's awesome. If you add those loop cuts back, they'll automatically interpolate in those weights. So if you ever wanted to bring them back, you just slap them on and good to go. But it's also something to be said for having less is more sometimes. But I'm glad you're through the hard part. Basically shorten down the clown feet so they're not going back. Honk honk. um, yeah, let me know if you have any other questions, Rashad. Happy to hopefully I gave you some idea of how I'm working with this, but yeah, the whole process is basically going to be recorded while I work on this character. So the majority of the work was already done this morning because it's just a fast workflow now. You just move pretty quick if you're doing multi-res. worries. Let me actually get the hands over. Take a look at them. So they do have this pattern here. I'll probably make the scale, the actual like edges of the scales with geometry. Be very fun. I'm quite excited for that actually. In the meantime, the wrists are not very thin, or they're not like, you know, them a little bit of thickness. Okay, good stuff. And isn't that awesome? This whole avatar is under 20,000 because I started with a very simple base. Oh, I love it. I love it. Get optimized. The legs look really odd from this front angle though. Sounds like a threat. Get optimized, nerd. Get optimized. Things are just a little twisted. There we go. Hello, welcome back. Was on a call when you left earlier. Well, welcome back to you, Ray91. I appreciate it. Ooh, we really need to hit this with some slide relax. And we'll give them just a little bit more curve right there. Not too much, because we want to keep that more of a the mix between digigrade and plantigrade. to remember to apply the base. Apply the base. All right. Do I play VR chat myself? As of late, I mostly am playing Resonite. I'm not in VR chat as often as I used to be, which even then was not super often. um, for me, I love making things in VR and doing like shooters in VR. So a lot of times when I like go to play VR, for me it's all about fighting. Very like being I don't know. It's what I prefer, I guess. But I mean, not clearly. I don't have anything against VR. VR chat. I just uh, end up doing other things these days. Whereas Resonite struggles on my PC, but once the world is loaded, it does look nice. It's great. It's great. I think a lot of those loading issues are kind of being dealt with, and then if you stick around, I'll be hopping into it in about 45 minutes, and I can show you some of the crazy cool stuff you're able to do with it, because I think I hadn't known how much was possible in Resonite, and now that my eyes have been opened, I'm a little fanatical about it. But definitely, I feel that the ability to make stuff in real time, edit worlds and stuff like that's the future of VR. It just is too good. It's too good. Whether or not that's Resonite that defines that in the end, I don't know, but um, I do think that something like that is the future. I think it's for similar but still different crowds. VR chat is more social, while Resonate is more collab oriented, as far as I can see. There's just some really cool things you could do in it. I agree, the in-game tools are nice. I think for now, it's definitely oriented more towards collaboration and creating and stuff. But as time goes on, there's someone who's very popular, a creator, AI Angel, I think is her name, but she does like a very realistic avatar. Probably I would assume most people here have seen her before. But she was making videos in Resonite recently, and I was like, oh shit, she's getting involved. That's cool. I don't. She didn't say that it was Resonite, but the Resonite camera was in there. At least I think it was. Salutations. Hello, Zoom. It's like exposing a lot of the Unity tools to objects in the game. It is. It is. It's slowly branching away from Unity. I wouldn't be surprised if eventually Unity's just removed from it completely. But it does have a lot of that similar logic. So it's a good starting point. Making things is a thing you can do just to hop in, not equip tools, just hop worlds and whatnot. You do the visual VRC, but the crowd is just smaller. So it's very true. It's hard to socialize in Resonite because there aren't enough people yet. For me personally, having Unity as a desktop application that can use to rapidly change and upload stuff is crucial. It's crazy. Creator, Resonite is too difficult. Now that's one snake-looking guy. He's coming out well. I'm very excited about him. I do wish there was better desktop integration, because I think that although I am really enjoying creating things in VR, that keyboard and mouse still are the fastest. Like if keyboard, mouse, and tablet, like VR is just not going to. VR will only be as fast as those tools once you can use those tools in VR easily. And it won't happen before then. I firmly believe that because I think it's kind of weird how much VR tries to be like, oh, let's ignore keyboard and mouse, and it's like those exist for a reason. Yeah, I play VR chat mostly because it's more social due to more people playing it. Well, the reason I'm so focused on Resonite is because I really want to make good role playing systems, like for D&D or Pathfinder, whatever kind of role playing system you'd like to use, and I want to get those things working nicely in Resonite. Um, so that's kind of the main reason why I'm using it, because I can iterate much faster in certain ways and certain things, and I think eventually, as I try to get more people involved, one of the biggest speed ups, and I think the most fundamental one, will just be that you can have 10 people working in the same room. It's like right now you can't do that in Unity, you can't do that in Blender. As far as I can tell, Resonite's pretty much the only application where you can do something like that, and it's as responsive as it is, and as fully featured as it is. And that feels like the future to me. I just there's something really special about that. um anyway, that's my pitch. I was actually looking yesterday into there's something. I'll just look, let's grab it really quick. Where was it? I think I saw it on Amazon. Yeah, I have no idea if this is good or not. My guess is this is probably a gimmick, but it's these wearable keyboards. So it's like a set of things you can tap with. So you can I think tapping is what triggers it. And I was like, huh, maybe you could wear that in a VR headset with a VR headset and stuff. Um, Interesting idea. I have a feeling it would not be as simple as I'd like it to be. But hopefully there's more tools like this, because I would love to see some sort of something like this. But I get the feeling this is going to be a gimmick. It just had that slightly unpolished Amazon look. Makes me skeptical. I think the head it actually is the right size. We're just missing the hair and the other features. And okay, so I had this whole thought of the last few days. I'm going to show you all my other Amazon searches. So one of the other things that was super funny to see, or interesting to see, um, where's my list? Was this right here? It's a um, it's like a wearable chair, is what they call it. I don't know if I'd want it to lock like this, but like if I could have it lock while I'm standing. uh, Or eventually, just have an exoskeleton or whatever. That'd be cool, but that's just like mulling over. Because the more I think about it, the more it's like I'd really love what I'm doing here to be super mobile. Like I don't really want to be indoors 24/7 working. Like if I could take what I'm doing and go outside somewhere. Obviously wearing a whole little exoskeleton seems ridiculous at the moment. Um, but I do like the idea of pondering uh, what kind of setups you could have uh, if you didn't have a desktop, you just had a VR headset. My next upgrade, I think, is going to be a new graphics card. The 3070 can run most things. 8 gigabytes of VRAM just doesn't handle everyone's poor avatar. Very, very true. Very true. Yeah. Me too. I would love to have a new graphics card. That's just not quite there yet. And then, I was just kind of waiting on Nvidia to announce a new one so I can buy one of the older ones. Announce the 5090 so I can actually afford a 3090, please. Choose to get Nvidia my money currently. Shakes fist, rushes off to Blender. I mean, I'm really upset with how limited the options on the graphics card market are. It's it's pretty slim pickings. Slim pickings. I feel like that's a very American thing to say. Slim pickings. I know some of the AMD graphics cards have 24 gigabytes of VRAM, but I've never used AMD for VR, and I'm worried if it will perform as well. I mean, I'm hesitant to get one because I watched VR chat struggle with getting AMD graphics card to work properly with VR chat for like 3 years. And it's like so everyone who had AMD was just kind of had a worse version experience with unit VR chat just because they're like, oh man, that's not a good sign. But I don't know if is that VR chat that's the problem? Is that the graph AMD that's the problem? I have no idea. Instinctually though, I would like to support AMD over Nvidia. I just hard to sacrifice. I don't really want to sacrifice some of the things I do though, just because Nvidia. All right, let's add another level of subdivision. Boom. We can start getting these really crispy details. they just break? I feel like it lagged really hard there. Another very big benefit to using multi-res is that your sculpts look better because you have better topology. Remesh topology is kind of icky. Just a soup. Super. I would suspect that VR chat isn't the best optimized game. I suspect you're right. I can run most intensive games on max settings, no problem. The only time I had an issue with was when Dragon's Dogma came out. That's not just on VR chat, I'd say 100%. It's just the nature of having custom content. It's like the moment you give people the ability to upload their own content, you basically go, we're going to have performance issues. User created content and upset. Exactly. Just the way it goes, unfortunately. I've certainly made some very unoptimized things. Before I knew better. Before I knew better. That's the same for, say, Resonite. I just need to learn to control myself with the pixel snorting. Another thing, too, is like Resonite starts you off in that home world, which is a very cool home world. But like, there's just a lot of content. I don't think it's the first world people should load into, personally, because it's like, it does chug. It chugs. More polygons! Little straw. Trying to make agreed. I'm currently making a box for a grid-based homeworld since that's what I use most anyways. I was trying to make a light version of my current avatar. I had to download a tool, Poly tool, for Unity to get anywhere close to not very poor. The Quest version. Gotcha. Blender's probably your best bet for if you want to like dissolve things. There's a, instead of like delete, you can dissolve things in Blender, and that works very well for Quest avatars. That's how I make most of my Quest avatars. I take the PC version and I just start dissolving edges because it maintains your UV maps, your weights and stuff like that. But still still very manual. But I succeeded in getting both the PC and Quest to medium. Nice. Deleted mostly extra clothes and accessories. Well, that's awesome. That is awesome. Always nice to have. There's definitely a deep satisfaction in knowing your work is like running as smoothly as it can. Stabilize my stroke. I feel like there was another way to stabilize it. Auto smooth. I don't think that's quite the tool I wanted. So that's smoothing every time I do a stroke. Huh. Interesting. That actually could be super useful. It's not what I'm looking for at the moment. Don't want to apply a line there by sculpting it. Cool. I think the frill still needs to be bigger. I need to make that even bigger. Okay. Lights VRC, that Sona is so damn pretty. Well, thank you, Lights. Not my design, but happy to be bringing Silex to life. My avatar had a collar, and that thing alone had a massive amount of polygons. The trouble with VRC accessories. The curse. The curse. May I ask a question, Blender God? You may! Behold! Question! Hello, Kai. Welcome. You probably already saw it, but I did send you a message regarding the eye tracking. The witness. So I'm gonna watch Bowser vids. Funny guy. Try that. Probably that simple. It's the only difference I could see because the parameters are the same, the animator's the same. It has to be something like that because I would have expected it to work already. Snake. I am working on a male version of the Hyaenid, and the topology is low, but I want to sculpt in abs. What would be the best way to go about it? Um, so what I'm using right now is exactly, I was smart, right on the money. What I'm using right now is this multi-res add-on. Um, so, well, here, I'll say the simplest way is literally just to paint it on. Just pretend like, paint in shadows like you're implying it. If you would like to alter the character and generate like a normal map, something like the multi-res modifier is a great way to go. Because if you're not changing the UV maps, you're not changing the rigging, all you're looking to do is sculpt in some details and bake that into a normal map. I would definitely recommend multi-res. That's the way to go. Is this Blender 4.1? This is Blender 3.6. Yeen. I did make meet Yeen as no man. Okay, good. It's been since 2.8, I think already. I'm not sure when it came in. Around there, around there. It's been there for a really long time, but it's finally only really gotten very good in the last few versions. I'm gonna turn up the sculpt one more time. Oh, get that subdiv going. 4 is quite the jump. Lots of plugins and menus change. Yes, yes, I'm working up the courage to make that leap. It's like, how much do I want to learn right now? Rather just keep. Right now, what I have works, so I'm not gung ho about switching. Sticking at 3.6 like Sam. I'm here on the edge, 4.1, baby. Anyway, if you feel free to come back and ask questions, Lights, if you run into any issues. But I'm kind of going through the multi-res process right now, so this stream and the other streams might be a very good one to reference for how I work with it, and might answer a lot of questions about you have about this process. Is 3.6 the best as far as compatible plugins and whatnot? What kind of plugins do you need? Generally, the most compatible versions are past versions of Blender. Because usually the add-ons are a little bit behind the cutting edge if there's going to be issues. I have to look into it, that's for sure. Well, good luck. Definitely wishing you well with your editing. I think you're gonna kick butt. Gonna kick butt. Some of these subdivisions got weird. I don't know why it looks like that. Like this odd normal issue. His butt's all extra creased. Extra creased butt. So what happened on the Lindy project? It's just slow going. I'm kind of waiting to hear back from Lindy. Um, I don't know. I tried cats and I don't think it worked. You don't need cats for anything. Um, I personally haven't used cats. I'm not really sure what results you should be expecting from it. But certainly, if you're comfortable using Blender, then you can do whatever you want, except for petting cats. I only use cats for Lyceums. All right, let's start adding some other objects. Cats can be destructive as well. Definitely always make backups before you end and make any changes for anyone that's just getting into Blender. Tried it in the past, but that was way back. I didn't like it. I could do things Blender could do just fine without it for my limited use back then. It does seem to more just be throwing a bunch of standard blendered. It's like a macro of just normal Blender stuff. So if you know Blender, if you're familiar with Blender, I don't think it's necessary. Want to keep the polys. Want to lower the polys? Try edge dissolving. Exactly. Exactly. Sorry, getting distracted. So another problem with 4.1 is following tutorials that are not 4.1. Don't worry about that version too much. Plugins for 4.1 use the old menu system for those tutorials. You just go with every fancy, and you can have multiple installs. I did see, like, one thing I like about Unity is they have the Unity Hub, which is like something I really think Blender should have. And I think there's an add-on for it, or like a not like an add-on in the typical Blender sense, but it allows you to have to easily use multiple versions of Blender. Um, it's like that. That seems pretty handy. So maybe when I get upgrade, I'll try testing that out. That's too much. I have the hub. PH theme plays. And then we'll just do another cut here. Whop, whop, whop. There we go. Sound effects are very important when you're sculpting. Just pointing that out. Wondering why I'm doing that? It's essential. Can't sculpt without making sounds. By law. I have lots of Unity stuff to get to. Okay, heck yeah. I think Blender or Unity definitely gets a lot of a bad rap, but I've enjoyed using it over the years. It's certainly given me my fair share of stress, but doesn't any pretty much every software does in some level. Is this guy going on Gumroad? This is actually a private commission, so there will be no public version of this avatar. But I appreciate you asking. Got $1,000 worth of assets for 25 humble bundles is great. And this was medieval fantasy and sci-fi packs. Ooh, very cool. Well, those might be very useful for some D&D Resonite stuff if you're interested in hopping in on one of our sessions at some point. I need to select the top of the roof of the mouth. The top of the roof of the mouth. The top of the roof of the mouth. A little bit too far down here. But that should be good. And then I go back to sculpt mode. And I can say base sets from edit mode selection. So let me hide the top, bottom, and now I can see the full mouth interior. We go in and make sure that this topology isn't getting destroyed. My big bag of holding, I pull out an entire house, crush a cell. Need to watch Humble Bundle more. Oops. Do I have to be in sculpt mode? Then say apply base? So make sure I don't break my shit. Just don't want to break my shit. Cool. Cool. That's awesome. Already at a very good spot. So we may have to adjust the hood here. Interesting. So we'll go ahead and select the island border, invert, Alt E, and unwrap them. Gotcha. So these here, we will unpin again, and then select it. One, two, three. Okay. Not quite the solution there. Not as bad. Something is still happening that I'm not expecting to. Hard for me to point out what it would be, though. Ooh, interesting. Okay. And if I select that, it goes all the way around. I'm just going to unfold it. Let's just double check. Did I lose an edge? Oh, duh. Of course it's unwrapping weird because yeah, because it's not mirrored anymore. Duh. Let's back up till we have our original pin. And then I want to take a look at here. So 1, 2. There's 2 points above and below the mouth that are not in. So 2 points, 1, 2. And then from here to here, it's actually got a seam. And then from 1, 2, from here to all the way back here. It's a seam. And now I select the head and we unwrap. Oh no, I did that wrong. I did that very wrong. Fine, let me undo that. Should have been like this. And this actually gets cut all the way down. And then we'll select the edges. Still not sure what's going on with these edges. We're just going to let them go. Boom. Good. Bam. All right. What's that look like now? All right. A little bit more understandable. Still quite a bit of squish in here. Hmm. I can cut these off. Here's what we'll try to do. We're going to put the cursor right here, take this point and these ones, and we're going to squish them here. I'll put my cursor here. And this vertically. And this vertically. Well, there's a little bit more resolution in there now, but not like mind-blowing amounts. Um, not enough resolution there. Okay. So now we must think of another solution, which will not be too bad. We're going to cut these off. Before I get too crazy. Say hood UV fix. Let's start with one for the moment. Not going to straighten. Well, I'm just going to come back to this. I don't want to do this right now. I do not want to do this right now. I'd rather see what it bakes like and then adjust it then. Which we're getting pretty close to. My back is looking great, Sam. Thank you, Sky. Thank you. I am very pleased with where we're at already. Multi-res for the win. So first we're going to make these horns. To make those, we'll make a cube. Shrink it down. Excuse me. How far can you usually go from the base mesh with the multi-res modifier? The first thing that suffers is always your UV maps when you're pushing your multi-res, if you have a base. So that's going to be the first thing that starts experiencing trouble. But there's no limit. It's just an engineering problem. So, it really kind of comes down to how do you want to approach this? What's kind of your important goal? What's your goal with this thing? So, like for example, right now I'm making the horn and I'm going to use a multi-res for it. So for me, it's just kind of making the horn shape. And the first goal is like finding what's the simplest shape I can use to represent this. Almost always it's going to be a box. Like a cube is there is a very there's a deep connection between a cube and a sphere. They're under, you can make them connect easily. Has to fit in the box. Basically, it's more like if I make the right box, I can turn it into any form that I want. So right here, I'm going to make the horn. And I'm going to sculpt these little curves that we see in it. First, I just want to get it working. Is this a commission? Yes. Yes, it is. We'll go ahead and apply this. Then we'll add multi-res, unsubdivide, then subdivide a few times. Now, oops, let me set it back down to 1, delete higher, subdivide again. Oh man, I just lost my work. Before I apply it, let's just put it here, all transforms, then multi-res, then subdivide. But generally what you're looking for with your multi-res is, did my cube allow for even topology, like even spacing of my triangle? So if I mesh this, you can see that generally the spacing is very even. So that's what I'm shooting for with this workflow. Okay. Now that I've done that, I would like to get it up on the head. So we're going to add a curve. Then we'll select this guy, go ahead and add a curve to there. We'll change the name of this curve to underscore curve form. And then for this one, we can change the deform axis to, let's say, Y. And then select the curve one more time. Make some adjustments here. Say stretch to bounds. So that way it's stuck to the curve. And then also curve. How do I do it? I want to set it to go the other way. Switch direction. There we go. All right. Now I can do some adjustments. How long have I been working in Blender? I picked up Blender about 10 years ago, and just very slowly over that time started learning it. Initially, I started learning it because I wanted to use it to make illustrations. For concept art. That was kind of the career I was pursuing at that time. But then I realized I just preferred working in 3D. I kind of really enjoy being able to treat an image like an engineering problem and just like actually make like a solution for it rather than I'm not a big fan of like performative aspects of art, or in the where the end result just relies on a performance. I'd rather just know how to make the thing I want to make. Kind of a vague thing to say, but anyway, Blender treats me nice, and I love it. I love you, Blender. I love you, Blender. All right. Now, we'll take the wireframe, Turn it real low here. And we're going to go in with some sculpting. Oh, it's so laggy. Can I turn off these to make it run faster? Yes, yes I can. It's always the mirror mod. It's the mirror mod. Mirror mods are the slowest. And how many ridges does this have? 1, 2. And they're pointed in the middle. Like a, yeah, that's a very, and then we'll do a Z mirror as well. Very technical description there. Damn it. Perfect. All right, let's see how that goes. Pretty close. It's a little bit of cleanup. All right, if you guys want to see something cool, I can just go ahead and straight up apply the multi-res, apply the curve, and then apply, bring back the multi-res and just unsubdivide it. Now it's on the head. And we'll just turn that mirror back on. Easy. Easy peasy. Magic. Ah. So for some reason, even though the mirror mod is off, it still slows way down. Undo. I'm not turning it back on. No. not particularly caring for how that's going. Dang it. Dang, man. Stuck in my head. Thank you. You're welcome. You are welcome. All right, other things to add though. We've got all these scales, and I will actually model those. They don't need to be multi-res, but okay. And we'll go ahead and add a subdivision. And then a shrink wrap onto character. All right. And then we'll also give it a solidify. Oh, this should be surface. Point 002. All right. And go ahead and make the body you know what? I can actually leave the UVs attached, despite how slow they are. Grab this color. Bam. All right. And we'll call this pattern high poly. And they should just be metallic, or just very glossy. Yeah. Shiny. Okay. Shiny. Oh, why is undo taking 1,000,000 years? And oh boy. Oh, it's already 3:30. Holy moly. Wow, that went by quick. The base of the foot should be a bit wider. Cool stuff. And this back does have, those are on the, does he have another set on his butt? I think these are the ones that are there. These are the same. Okay. Pretty sure. Okay. Ah, balls. What the fuck? A weird projection. These ones I'm probably also going to model. And the hair is just long and slicked back. Relatively simple. Oh boy. 3:30, I can't believe that. Man, do I hop in Resonate or just keep working? have enough time. Famous last words, hair, relatively simple. You're not wrong. That'll be easy. Crying, sobbing, shitting, farting. So this have a little bit of like, there's some small grooves right here. But I'm most concerned about this shape. So to plot it out, it's here. It's probably the wrong color for this, but to here. Like a little thin strip that goes up. It's on the neck too. All right, well, we'll make a plane to start with. I'm just going to merge it at center so I can move it onto the point right here. Then we'll add to it shrink wrap onto the body and a mirror set to main. Okay, so it goes up the side of the neck. Needs a subdivision. Not super helpful. Okay. It's a little vague because some of them are implied to be grooves that are in the surface, and other are these very geometric patterns. So I think we'll make the geometric pattern and then go in and sculpt afterwards. And they'll just be similar colors. But I'm going to keep them separate, basically. Vertices. I like that. For fuck's sake, created a ticket about weird fallback issues, and all I got back is a stock apologies. We're not able to provide direct assistance for the process of creating content in the VR chat SDK. We will help with addressing technical issues with VR chat platform answer. Uh-oh. And what are you trying to do, or just upload stuff? You're showing an avatar that does not exist. Door stuck. Door stuck. Hmm. What is the best way to create this shape? I guess I just cut it. I'll take this, duplicate it, rank it, fill it, reset. My fallback broke. I re-uploaded it. Still broken. I've gone through multiple tries of even uploading a different app altogether as a fallback, still showing broken ghost. Interesting. Hmm. Not quite sure what that would be. It's only being shown to questies that might have my Abbey shielded. Anyone that enables my Abbey sees the real one. Double fallback? Or an in between? Actually, go ahead and who do I apply it first? Need to apply it after. No. No. Let's get it. All I can do. Let's see. There we go. Cool. Just so upset at this by now. It's been over 2 months now. My goodness. I wonder why. Not a bug I've heard about. Have you gone to the VR chat uh, Discord? Maybe make a post there, see if anyone else has encountered it. Not the Discord, just the VRC forums and support ticket. That'd be the only step I could think of at this point, other than just like doing a new slot, new avatar slot. You can always update the world, right? I suppose that would break the avatar for everyone that's already wearing it. Cool. I like that. And in Cade's Discord, gotcha. Oh, thank you, Silac. Hello. Welcome back. We're moving quick. We'll start here on the small one. We'll start on the small one. Phone verification for a Discord? What? Now you know Discord's gone mainstream. Bum, 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 bum. Very cool. Sick. Sick. How far do you go in the sub div? Generally 6 for a multi-resolution is about as high as I can go before it starts lagging super badly. And there's just a point where you're better off just doing it as a texture anyway. When your food is at the right temperature. Delicious food. Delicious food. I want to make a Bezier. Going to fit some depth. Why is it? Why is it black? Huh. It's weird. Ah, it's because it somehow got scaled. Oh, I scaled it to 0, not in edit mode. That was the issue. Okay, good. Keep it a little diamond. Maybe even. This is 8 on that end. And as long as I keep it a resolution of 3, that should mean that when I mesh it, there are, okay, so it's 3 segments, which means I would need 4. So 4 segments when I mesh it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's 4 segments. Very cool. That means that I know the tip is 8, inside is 4. So actually we'll want 8. We won't want 4. I want it to be multi-resable. When your food is at the right temperature, what level is hot? 1,000,000. Okay. I would prefer to not have it be smooth, but whatever. And we'll give it all the silent care. A little bit darker. $1,000,000. Just feel like 3060 is getting hot at level 3 to 4. It definitely makes my computer think a bunch, but it's not like crazy. Just depends on how much you have active in your scene at once. Time for bed once more. Have a frightful night, everyone. Don't let the monsters get you. Enjoy your evening Zoom. Thank you for hanging out. Definitely get some good rest. We'll catch you tomorrow. Depends on what you put in to begin with, too. Very true. Yeah, if you're subdividing a very heavy mesh, then it gets out of hand a lot faster. Very good. Is this coming down? I don't think it goes down. It's a little vague on what's happening right here. But here it's all slicked back, so that's what I'm gonna reference. So it definitely comes together into a point. This nice sharp point. We'll actually try to do this time around, make a shell. So try to avoid letting gaps exist. Gaps. Duplicate this one. This will be the outside hair strand, or one of them. Need another to be a little bit closer on the back here. Mm. Yay, I'm finally off work. Congrats. Congratulations. I got 1 hour left for myself. And then we'll be ending the stream for today. Do you do the Unity part of setting up the avatars as well? I do, and everything I do will be streamed. Um, at least I try to stream absolutely everything. But, and we'll actually make this part of the hair material. And for the eyes, we'll go ahead and just give them this color for right now. Actually, no, we'll do the green. I know it's not the iris color, but that's okay. And make them very shiny. See them easier. This also needs a material. We'll call this body lines. And this is a high poly material. I'm glad I found the stream. Good, good. I'm glad you came by as well. Bam. Copy that. Paste it down here. And we'll actually make it metallic and shiny. As, maybe not fully metallic. A little metallic. Trying to get a feel for what it's looking like when it's coming together. Coming together, coming together. Ugh. Yeah, watching you do the patterns, but I was on the phone. Are those like polygons you placed over the skin? Yes. Yes, so they're just a flat mesh with a shrink wrap, subdivision, shrink wrap, and a mirror. Yeah, just some geometry floating over the surface, which I'll probably need to smooth out later because I can see some artifacting there. But overall, it looks pretty darn good. So they kind of bundle out and then come together towards the tip. So flare out and come back together. It's already pretty pricey. Okay, so I think that for each of these, we'll turn this down to 4. And we'll have to just add more cuts on some of them because it's just too much right now. That actually works out a little bit better because then I can have a little more control. Hello, Nesh. Welcome back. Welcome back. How's your day going? Finished 2 avatars, I see. What would you do with those two? Um, the the goblin and ogre, is that what you're referring to, or this character here? This one we started today. Um, it's looking good. Looking good. Oh, gotcha. Oh, with this guy, he's a commission. So this will be going to the client who owns this avatar. With the goblins, I'll be selling them on my Gumroad. Excuse me. Try to make this one of the core tubes. Core tubes. I don't know what that means, but one of the middle tubes. Great. How much? Great work. How much do you get? Um, I generally charge around $1,000 for an avatar. That's kind of my general commission rate. If you are interested, I can send you my website info if you'd like. I do have a current worth. Thank you, Sai. uh, and it some for some people that may seem quite expensive. For others, it's quite cheap depending on what you're looking for. And then relative to the scope of what's possible in this space, there are certainly other creators that charge quite a bit more than I do. Um, and they're quite established and they've got following and stuff like that. So it's an interesting world. If you're not familiar with VR chat and this kind of space, it's a good one. It's a very good one, especially for creators. And I think it'll only get bigger because we're just at the very beginning of what this space has to offer. Yeah, making money on digital bodies, not scared of someone buy them from you and resell them, give you no credit, gets much more than you. There is always the concern for theft, but that's just true of any product. Yeah, someone could, yeah, you could literally have a machine shop where you're making cars for people, and someone's gonna steal all your shit there. So I don't think you should live your life in fear. Because you'll always be able to convince yourself to not do something. And squish that right up against there. I have a redeemed drink water. Oh, gotcha. I don't have my things on, so coffee it is. Delicious. Delicious coffee. I love coffee. Not water, it's coffee. There's water in the coffee. That counts. Nice. Looking really good. Looking very good. Let's tweak the tail a little bit. I haven't really even touched it. Apply that there. And then multi-res again, because I want circle of 8. And let's make cut the bottom. Cut the bottom. Boom. Easy peasy. All right. Pop open that reference again. The tail probably needs one more subdivision, at least. I play VR chat, but on mobile. How hard to find a perfect avatar for you? Because 90% of avatars not showing because of performance issues with VR chat. At least put it on PlayStation 5 so I can play the game normal. I don't think VR chat will ever be on a console. There's way too much copyrighted content in there. It would just yeah, I think that would be a lawsuit waiting to happen. Grab Blender 3.6 probably better being on the LTS branch anyways. Yes, it is worth being on a long-term support branch. The thickness of the tail. It reminds me of like a salamander a little bit. And we'll do one more cut here. Still has the freezy problem. The freezy problem. I've got problems, but a freeze ain't one. Well, you know, I think there's generally just going to be a lot of games that if you don't have a PC, probably aren't going to perform the best. You know, saving up to get a nice computer might be the best bet for you. Tail should be a little bit longer. But I want more of it to be kind of bunched up towards the front here. Okay. Pull some of this forward. And then so the freeze problem, I mean, when you don't move at all, not even blinking. Sounds like an unrigged skeleton. So you can upload your own characters, which obviously is what I'm doing here, but you know, if that's something that interests you, you can definitely learn how to make your own. Avatars these days be weird. I always hear your avatar has a built-in dick in it. Well, you know, that's a kind of par for the course when it comes to VR chat. Be careful where, you know, you're need to know what kind of content you're opening yourself up to. Here we go. Tail pattern. More chevrons. I be shillin' then hearing that I be a yo. Yes. Boom. Boom. All right. So now we've got our chevrons on the tail. And we'll have to up the multi-res so we don't get this banding. Look. Talking to a content creator, and he basically said that that's what sells the most. Do you know why the VCR won over the Laserdisc? It's the same reason. And that's why I know that VR chat has a future. Or just VR in general. Too many images. Too many images. Just play to hang out with friends and go to my Star Trek group. Imagine blast me in front of a mirror, seeing the corner of your eye, a ding, ding dong. That's how it goes. Gotta be prepared for anything online. Basic rule, avoid public instances. Do you play VR chat or just make avatars? Basic rule book isn't the game about talking with others. Game's whatever you make it. There's no rules for VR chat. Um, I mostly just make avatars. A lot of my time, even spent in like VR or Resonate, which is another VR social game, uh, is mostly spent making things because I love making things. That's what I'm here for. I love making things. I love spending time thinking about making things. Where my heart's at. Group of reasonably mature people and go to the moderated events they held. Cool. So cool. Excuse me. Thank you. Well, because I'm mobile, I can't get verified or anything that could make me a trusted rank, so I'm stuck with racist, bullying, sexist type of people. I think with some effort, you could pretty easily find different people to hang out with. Have a good one, Sam. I'll be going. Sounds good, Sky. Enjoy the rest of your day. And sorry for no Resonite today. I'm just going to focus on the commission, and we'll be doing Resonite tomorrow. If I wasn't going to get in my car and drive for an hour, I'd be in there already. But enjoy your day, Sky. See you tomorrow. Bye. A bam. Bam, bam, bam. A bam. A bam, 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 bam. All right, that's my sound effect when I make something, I guess. Whatever that sound. What is that sound? It's me. I think you just have to reach new user to do most things. Lowest is visitor. Yeah, you should still be able to rank up even if you're on your phone. I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's possible they locked it, but I'd be surprised. I don't think they'd want to discourage people from using their phones. Or iPads or whatever. Or no, it's Android only right now. I think it'll be I think they're coming out with an iPhone version. If I remember correctly. Correct. I want that wavy look. That's what I want. That's what I want. Actually, yeah, this we need to do. move it up in order to get that wavy look. We gotta have the stuff. Hair strands. It's too much. And we'll kind of drop down the depth on that one. Make it just a tad thinner. Okay. A lot more cleanup to do on that one, but good start. Now I'd like to make the scales on the bottom of the tail. The scales on the bottom of the tail. The scales on the bottom of the tail. So to do that, we'll turn off the body. All this needs to go into hair. And all this goes into body. Got the most disappointing thing on the summer break. I asked my parents to get a VR headset and told them specifically, get the Quest said, okay, it was, you got the 3K headset, and they only watch when you put your phone inside and watch YouTube. It sucked. We ended up getting a PS5, which the cost like 1.20 mil, except for 3K headset. While you made an avatar, I almost baked my box. Almost. Getting bakey. Well, that is a bummer. But if you're interested in saving up, I would recommend aiming for getting a Quest 2, because they're only about $200 now. You probably save up for that in like 3 months or so, if you're really set on getting a headset. And we'll take this, we'll add a array at the top that will go negative direction. -1's not bad though. I really like this tiny groove. We need just the smallest gap in there. Gap. Yeah. Oh, thank you. I will try. Yeah, heck yeah. Wish you well on your saving journey. All right, we're going to apply the array now. And then look at the bottom, turn on mirror. So, yeah. Just kind of try to grow that out a little. Sanitars isn't broken down like your body selects and everything. Is there a way to do a drag select that selects polygons behind the model? Well, I will leave. See you later. Sounds good, Nesh. Enjoy your day. Um, so in Blender, there's a lot of different modes. So right now I'm in object mode. When I go into edit mode with tab, I'm pressing tab to go in and out of object mode and edit mode here. So with my object selected, I can enter it. And then once I'm in there, you can just click to start selecting. If you start holding shift as well, you can select more than one. To select the big chunks, you can use B to select. You can also, if you have things you don't want to select, you can grab the things you don't want and then invert your selection with Control I. And that may be pretty close to what you're looking for. The hair kind of reminds me of that villain from Osmosis Jones. Can't remember what he was named, but I'm getting those vibes. Let's make a backup copy. Need to adjust the top of the mouth and the mouth cavity as well. Googled it. I think what I'm looking for is limit selection to visible. Oh, gotcha. So you are selecting too much. All right, I gotta get on the road soon. Don't really want to, but I should. Let's do the jewelry in the meantime. jewelry. Make a chorus of 12 and 8. I guess 16 and 8 would actually be preferable, because then I should be able to multi-res and subdivide. Just wanted to see if I could do that. I returned from cycling plus dinner. Hello, Titanic. Welcome. Hello, hello. And hello, Wendy. Welcome. Welcome back. Hope your cycling went well. Sounds like it did. We're adding some earrings to our snake. Snaky. Looking quite nice. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Coming together quickly. This is Silec's character, Silec. I think Si's in here. The client's name and the character's name is Silec. I heard my name. Neat. There's asking a character name. And that's Sai right there. Let me turn off the UVs really quick. I just want to see the base color. Or the... see what it looks like. Nice view. Definitely need to adjust our claws. Both sets of claws. All right. Hey, Ren Go XZ, thank you for the follow. Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Working on our snaky boy here. Ooh. We're making quick progress. I've obtained the approval of the household to acquire another snake. Well, good. Snake collection grows. Gotta get those worms. Gotta get those worms. All right. Is it possible to hide bones? Yes. So if you have a bone selected in pose mode, you can just hit H to hide. Uh, you can also just hide your armature. So for example, I have my armature in this collection right here, and I can just toggle it on and off, maybe. Yeah, right here. There's my armature. So I can just turn this on and off right here. Boom, boom. I do prefer collections because that way unhiding things. Um, well, I like putting a lot of objects in collections. May not be work well for bones, but yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I should not move him right now. Not be too slow. You can move an armature into a separate collection. Exactly. All right, turn on that wireframe. And I'm gonna make the groin a little bit sharper, like this. And I go to sculpt mode, I scroll down to modifier, say apply base. Project I was working on for Valheim used a single armature for multiple meshes, each in their own collection. Interesting. Oh, hello. Do you have time to talk about a Lord and Savior Bone Collections, the new 4.0 version? I've heard good things. Heard good things. And it seems like AutoRig Pro has gotten a decent amount of updates regarding the bone collections. The bone collections. Bone. Do you want to collect bones? Probably redo these horns. Most likely I just redo those. It was a very well organized file. I'm not the one that made it. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah. I guess that makes sense because you can export um, only selected objects and only deform bones. So if there were objects that didn't have deform bones, then it wouldn't export those other bones, and it would only export. Interesting. That seems like a good way to work. I think that I'm imagining it correctly. Yeah, okay, good. All right, duplicate this one. Time for me to head off. Need to get some food, have a nice rest day off. Sounds good, Arctic. Get some good rest. Enjoy your food. And we'll see you tomorrow. Happy Monday. Man, it is already the end of the day. Oh, I need more time in the day. Can someone invent time control for me? Mostly a lot of armor pieces for the respective world object models. Interesting. I wonder if that's how the game had organized their stuff initially. The actual developers. Because I believe it's an indie game. I wouldn't be surprised if they use Blender. I want this tousle. I want it to look tousled, whatever that word is. Right. Okay. Gonna take a bit of time to get that working right, but we're heading in the right direction. Sounds good. Not sure it's possible though. Banana. 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 It's going to take a while to get it to look that flowy and smooth. Might like curve sweep for hair. I've got the loop tools. Once I make a selection, can I save that for future use? The only way I've seen to save vertex group selections, like if you're talking about saving a selection within the object, is just to create a vertex group and assign it. So you can just make like grab whatever here, make a new one for my selection, and then assign it. Boom. And select like that. And you don't really have to worry about it messing with your rigging or anything, because the vertex groups only rig things or move things if there's a bone with the same name. So as long as you don't have a bone named my selection, then you won't mess with your rigging at all. He's going to look super cool. I can't wait. Cannot wait. Free. All right, I would say that that is a good amount of work for today. I'm going to take some screenshots and then we'll be moving on. I'm going to share a short clip of this, shows a bit of curve sweet hair workflow in Discord. Yeah, please do. If there's a better way to make hair, I'd be happy to explore that. All right. Today's work. Current mission. Put it in Blender. Current mission. Look at Nick. All right. There's my post for today. Good. He's looking really good. And legs are looking a lot better. I'm going to take a screenshot just to confirm that with Silek. All right. And let's take a look at that video. Boom, boom. Oh, gotcha. Interesting.
In this video. And aside
This is what I thought Hair Tool would be like. And I don't dislike Hair Tool, but this seems much closer to what I was imagining it work like. Oh, cool. It's free? Perfect. I definitely for like what's gonna fill the volume. Like what I always struggle with hair is like you can kind of make the shell of it, and then there's always holes on the inside. Anyway, this should work really well. Thank you, Wendy. I will definitely oh yeah, I've seen people use these or seen like thumbnails like this. But yeah, I'm gonna use the heck out of that. All right, let me bookmark that. Actually, I will move the bookmark. Hit the lock. No, it's I take the lock icon and I just drag it onto my desktop. There we go. All right. All right, everyone. Some good progress today. You, not me. Did we make it free? I know there was a lack of sales. Oof, rough. Well, it's tough to hear of a tool and know what its intended use is. Have a good evening. I will. Thank you, Wendy. And thank you all for hanging. I hope everyone is having an amazing Monday. Definitely been a good one. For me, we're off to a great start. And we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll have time to get into Resonite. I have to get on the road right now and drive for an hour. So it's going to be a long day for me. But hopefully an even longer day tomorrow with more Resonite. Take it easy. I will sigh. Everyone else that hasn't followed or subscribed yet, please do. I will be back tomorrow, and you'll regret not following or subscribing because I'm I'm coming after you. No, I'm just kidding. Threaten you into following and subscribing. But thank you all. Ray, enjoy your day. Thank you for everyone coming by and chatting, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye, everyone.